Good afternoon and welcome to the CG Tech webinar by the Virtual Lab. And I'm going to do the welcome in a second. As I always do, a quick bit of admin around the house. You'll find this webinar on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Please like, share, and fire your questions. We'll start the questions coming as soon as you're ready, and we always want feedback. It's nice and easy to either follow the page or set a reminder. That's going to help you remember that it's on, and then you'll get a pop-up on the screen. Those are the easy ones. Quickly around the house. My name is Dave Collins. Mike, over to you.
Good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are in the world. My name's Mike Hibbard, the Ops Manager with the Virtual Lab, based up in sunny Dundee here. Over to you, Pascal.
Hi, guys. Pascal Bornet. To shortly introduce myself, because you know both David and Mike, you don't know myself. I'm an expert in the field of intelligent automation that we call also hyper automation. I'm going to talk later about what it is and what are the benefits from it. In short, I'm passionate about making our world more human with intelligent automation, artificial intelligence and automation, and technology in general. Been working for the last 20 years, first for EY, then McKinsey, built for them the practices around the artificial intelligence and automation. Very glad to join you today.
Thanks, Pascal. And I guess just to cover where I first saw you, LinkedIn, and in fact, we mentioned this just before we went on air, Elon Musk gets 15 to 25,000 likes on his posts, and you get around 5,000. So an incredible LinkedIn following. I mean, how did you do that? How many years has that taken you to build?
So I have a lot of space to improve. Huh? That's your point.
Yeah, well, if you match Elon Musk, we definitely have to have you back on the show.
It's just one word: is passion. Passion. It's all about finding your passion, and my passion is around how technology can help our worlds being better. And and when you really have a passion, you want to share about it, and that's simply what I'm doing.
It is fantastic. And again, I recommend anyone who is not following you on LinkedIn to get on following you. In fact, very rarely do we have a hello this early on the comments, but Sanjeev from Dubai mentions he's watching this with his kids and he's a massive fan. So that's that's for us. I then saw that you had this book. Now I had to go out and buy this book, and I mentioned it beforehand. I have not started reading it yet, but I am excited to read it. Tell us a little bit about the journey to write this.
A very painful journey. If this is about the journey, that's very painful. It's been 18 months of work with my two co-authors, Joren Wirtz and Jan Barkin. So Joren Wirtz is an academic, so he brought in the structure and the rigor that is needed in such books. Jan Barkin is an entrepreneur. He built Symphony, the first pure play intelligent automation advisory company, and he sold it a few years ago for a few 60 million. So he was more on the other extreme, pushing me to more innovation and creativity and business. So it's been a painful journey, but what triggered this book is the need to explain to the world about what is hyper automation, what is intelligent automation, what can it bring to our world, how can it save lives, how can it improve work that we are doing today, how to implement it to make sure that it works, and how to make sure that it has the best impact on our society. So that's roughly what is in the book.
So
and before that, there was no reference document yet that was talking or presenting this new field. So we felt it was really necessary to build a reference document on it. That's the first book on this topic. Okay? This topic is very new. It's
yep.
I mean, if you heard maybe about robotic process automation, started in the year 2001, 2002. Intelligent automation, which involves robotic process automation as well as artificial intelligence, has been coined in 2017, so very recently. Okay.
Yep.
And since then, there has been no book, no reference documents, basically no framework, no library of use cases made publicly available. So we really thought it was needed to make intelligent automation become a field, and at least start to build the foundation of this new field.
And before you go on, and I know you won't want to say it yourself, but it's obviously already Amazon #1 bestseller in that field.
So we've launched it 3 weeks ago, and it's been bestseller for the last 3 weeks.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the sales are fantastic. The feedback from the readers is amazing. Every day you read about 10 or 20 of those people reading the book, taking pictures of the book, and telling what they liked into it. And I would say it's quite easy, because the within this book, I would say you have 3 books. Okay, so you really cover a lot of audience, a lot of different interests from different people. You have on one side the CEO or the manager or the C-levels willing to understand, what is this new concept? What can I get from it? When can I implement it? How can I implement it? What does it mean? Which kind of return I can get? You have the project managers, the developers who wants to know, what are the leading practices? How can I make sure that I use the leading practices to make sure it's successful in my company and my project succeeds, and so on. So really getting to the detail and to the ground of it. And thirdly, you have the perspectives on society, the impact on society, how intelligent automation could save 10 plus million lives per year. How can intelligent automation help us to save more than $10 trillion per year, which would help us to double the budget of health, the global budget of health and education. And how can society make it happen the right way? Okay, so that everyone can benefit from it in the world.
So you obviously have mentioned a few phrases. So AI, robotic process automation. What is, if you were to boil down intelligent automation, could you define it for the listeners?
Yes, of course. And maybe I can start with a bit of context. We've seen the industrial revolution started 200 years ago, automating what we call the blue collar work, in agricultural and manufacturing industries. They, as we all know, they provided massive and structural benefits to our society, such as the reduction of famine, the increase in standards of living. They also relieved people from laborious manual work. Intelligent automation, which we call also hyper automation or also cognitive automation, it ushers a new revolution, the one of office work. So basically the white collar, okay? The white collar work basically are all of us, knowledge workers, what we call knowledge workers, people working on computers and building, creating value using their brains. And I think definitely both of you, David and Mike, you are knowledge workers. I am a knowledge worker, and most of the people listening to us are knowledge workers. According to our research, today, office work accounts for more than 80% of the job roles in the global economy. Think of all of us, but also lawyers, financial controllers, call center operators. And like the previous automation revolutions, we strongly believe that intelligent automation will have a significant impact on employment and more broadly on society. Okay, so back to really your question, which is, what is IA? Let me call it IA to make it faster. Intelligent automation, IA. It is one of the most recent trends in the fields of artificial intelligence. It is basically a combination of methods and technologies which involve people, organization, machine learning, low-code platforms, robotic process automation, and more. And the aim of this is to automate end-to-end business processes in a computerized environment. And basically to deliver business outcome on behalf of the employees. Okay, so let's take a very simple example. IA can help to automate most of the work activities that we have in an end-to-end process, which we can call procure to pay, for example. So procure to pay is about, and all companies, all commercial companies in the world have a procure to pay process, which help them basically to procure products from vendors and pay those vendors. Okay, so from the selection of vendors using machine learning to sending orders to those vendors using a low-code platform to receiving and processing those invoices automatically using natural language processing, up to the payment of those vendors using RPA, for example, the connection of all those activities automated together creates what we call intelligent automation. So basically, IA effectively creates a software-based digital workforce. Okay, we call it like this, that enables synergies by working hand in hand with the human workforce. Yeah, as a result, it improves process speed, reduces costs, improves employee experience, customer experience.
It's funny because we're in the process actually of installing our first RPA into one of our sister companies, and the barrier to entry is still high, expensive. And I guess the question to you is, who's leading this, or can be expensive? And
you can get it for free. I mean, if you were talking just about implementing robotic process automation, you can download it for free on the web now, right away.
Yeah,
I agree with you that you'll need to get the right people to implement it. You need to get the right methodologies and so on. But
the software
it's all about time. It's all about time and structure in the transformation. You will not. Yeah.
Who's leading this part of the world? Obviously, you expect the Googles, the Amazons, the Facebooks, but who are you seeing as sort of world leader in IA?
It's a good question. First time I've been asked this question, because the issue with this question is that there is no one name, and because intelligent automation is regrouping the vendors from artificial intelligence or machine learning, let's call it, the vendors from the robotic side, so RPA, low-code platforms, APIs, and the vendors from the cloud workflow reporting type of systems. So in each of those bubbles, you have different key vendors. And most of them are very well known. In the cloud, the AWS, the Googles, and so on, and the Microsofts. In the machine learning space, we all know the data robots and the data IQ and the H2O and so on. And in the RPA space, UiPath, Blue Prism, and Automation Anywhere are the big ones. The local platforms with Pega and other ones.
I watched a social media documentary on Netflix, and it was the first time I'd ever heard a user of something like a social media platform being referred to as a user and not a customer. And it comes back to the first time I saw IA, or the first time I think I saw IA, was when they've now got dentists and hospitals using automated systems to call you up to make a booking, and then the new iPhone where you'll be able to do the same. Say, actually, go and get me a dentist appointment, go and get me a haircut. You won't have to speak to anyone. Your phone will do it on your behalf, and just come back and book it. And you think that is efficiency. But what happens then? What's the? And I guess maybe this is too deep a question, but with the likes of myself, Mike, and you disappearing, what are we going to do? Are we going to augment the computers? Are we going to assist, or are we redundant?
Not at all. Not the last one for sure. Talking about the worker's experience and our relationship with the technology. According to Gallup research, so a serious research company, 85% of the employees around the world are not fulfilled by their work. And the reason for that is because it's too manual, too repetitive, and too tedious. IA solves a large part of this issue by freeing up employees from repetitive transactional tasks. Okay, example of keying in invoices in an accounting software the whole day, and millions of people are doing this around the world. It helps to refocus us on more value-added, but also more exciting tasks. Okay, like the one that involve insights, creativity, talking with the others. And on top of this, it helps to augment us, to transform us into superhumans, okay? Giving us the ability to generate insights from millions of data in a few seconds, to identify a tumor on an X-ray in just a few seconds with a very low rate of failure.
I mean, for me, a lot of the processes that you outline, Pascal, are no criticism of anybody's work position, but are quite sort of menial tasks. If you're automating those menial tasks, those repetitive tasks that people are not satisfied in doing, those people who effectively become redundant, how do employers treat them? Do they retrain them? Do they get rid of them? And does that lead to a pushback from employees as to the introduction of this type of technology?
It's a very good question and a very important question, and we explain the way to go about it, and obviously the impact on unemployment or unemployment from those technologies is something to watch very carefully about. I really believe that all of us are able to do. I mean, all of us are able to be creative. All of us are able to be adaptable, and it's all about having the companies taking the responsibility of accompanying their employees through reskilling, upskilling, using this as an opportunity to go beyond, basically. So that's what at a company level what is necessary to be done. Okay, so change management, training, accompanying the employees, upskilling them, and so on. That's key and critical. At the society level, there are other imperatives to make it happen. One of the first one is coming from a fact that has been identified by many economists, that the wealth inequalities in the world have been increasing for the last few decades, and they attribute it to technology. So the question comes, how can we make sure that we share equally amongst people the new wealth that is generated by IA and other technologies? Obviously, there are different ways of thinking about it. Different wealth sharing mechanism exists, like UBI and other ones. But definitely, governments have to think about it. And I think it's getting more and more of a pressing question for our world, especially when we are in this context of the COVID-19, that is, on one way, in preventing employees to work the same way as they used to do, pushing the companies to automate and digitalize, and of course, that is also the cause of many companies failing and unemployment probably rising. So I hope I could answer this very difficult question, very sensitive question.
What sectors are you seeing the biggest uptake? I mean, we work across multiple sectors, from oil and gas to events, and you see certain sectors are very stuck in their ways. Very, I did it this way and I've done it this way since the start of time, and I will always do it this way. And I think they're the last adopters. Which sectors are you seeing adopt this type of technology first?
I would say first, the first adopters are the industries in the service economy. Think of the banks, insurance companies, telcos. Those have been the pioneers, okay? But otherwise, any company is impacted by intelligent automation, because any company at least has back office services. Think of finance departments, HR departments, supply chain departments, and so on. All those departments are what we call, employ what we call knowledge worker, and those knowledge workers can benefit from all the advantages of intelligent automation.
And actually, I guess we've talked in this now about augmenting, if not replacing, certain human functions, but I guess there's an improvement as well. There's an uptake. I mean, how much will this help us understand our customers better, increase our margins? Is that what we're really looking at here?
Exactly. You're talking about the right points. So just to give you a few numbers, so IA helps to boost the customer experience, building trust, satisfying and retaining the customers. So 96% of unhappy customers don't bother even complaining today. 91% of them will simply leave and never return. Okay, so a lot of customers are not happy, and they even don't pay.
Full time, it's what we do.
Exactly. So IA helps to create innovative, customized products, highly responsive and omni-channel customer services available 24/7. Think of chatbots. Think of the use of machine learning to understand better clients, to propose to clients the products they want and they need. Based on my experience of using intelligent automation over the last 10 years, companies can increase the level of their customer satisfaction by over 50%, while reducing the contact center workload, for example, by the same over 50%.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a generalization, I guess, but and taking this sort of the wider field, I'm sure we've all heard and read about the stories where artificial intelligence has been brought in to fulfill a service, but it has been found out that the programming behind the AI has led to the service not being carried out as it should be. I believe the example that springs to mind is it was either Facebook or Google set up an AI platform to check through candidate CVs, and because there was a gender bias brought in unintentionally at the programming level, they were weeding out women and putting males forward for interviews. How, going forward, does AI ensure that doesn't become a problem and people have confidence in it?
Yes, I mean it's a very important question and key question in managing the acceptance of the technology by people. I think a key solution to that for the future, and this trend has already started, is the capacity of the technology to be more and more accessible to people. Okay, you probably heard about low-code platforms, about those systems that are getting accessible to people that even don't have coding skills, and those systems, very user-friendly, drag and drop type, help everyone in a company to work with technology and accept technology more. Okay, and we see also a trend of technology getting closer to us. Okay, we get more from the technology because the technology again helps to augment us, helps to augment our capacity for us to be able to perform more save more lives, to create more benefits. And on the other side, technology learns from us, and the more it learns from us, the more it can serve us and deliver more features to us. Okay, so I really think that working closer with technology, people and technology, will help us to reduce those unacceptance of the technology in the future.
I will bring up one more. You've got more fans than half the celebrities that that I watch on telly. Someone else just saying they are pleased to be following you. They like your message and like how positive you are. But I'll bring up Cameron. If a company has no financial incentive to uptrain an employee on the skills required or beyond the capacity of that person, or the company has no function for the person to fulfill, how do they adapt? I guess you sort of half touched on that before, but maybe you can respond to Cameron.
That's a very good point. That's a very good question, and that's a tough one. I think definitely the company has a responsibility, but I think more broadly, it's the responsibility is at society level, and probably governments. It's all about re-educating this person. It's all about identifying within this person what are and I think within all of us, what makes us different from technology, and what are our competitive advantages against technology. How can we be best complementary together? So definitely technology will never be able to be as creative as we are. So we definitely need education to push more on those fields. Definitely education needs to prepare us to be adaptable, to make sure that we can adapt to the pace of change, pace of technologies that is increasing in the world. We need to teach our kids to learn how to learn, and to learn how to learn fast. Okay. So that's at society level. Another point at society level will be definitely at some point in time, at least if the nature of the work that we are doing doesn't evolve, the fact that we are automating most of those tasks will reduce the amount of work that is necessary for the companies, with an impact on our daily lives. If we don't spend any more 8 hours per day doing our job, then what do we do? And is it a bad thing, or is it a wrong thing? Okay. Taking into consideration that the wealth sharing mechanism that I talked about before works well, okay, so that we don't need to take care of our wages and income to make sure that we can feed ourselves and our kids. Taking this into consideration, our world could be more human, because what do we need to do? What is the meaning of our lives? I think our lives is about helping the others. It's about taking care of ourselves. It's about taking care of the planet. It's about love, simply. I mean, if you read the book of Kai-Fu, this is something that technology will never be able to get to, and this is where I think at least that makes the meaning of our lives, and so that's my answer to this. It's broader than just the level of an employee or a company. It's a society thing.
Absolutely. Pascal, I think that is probably a good place to wrap up. Before we do, maybe tell anyone how they can go about getting the book and or contacting you in the future if they feel the need.
Okay. The book is available on Amazon. It's available as ebook, as paperback, and soon as a hardcover. So very easy to get it. Please, when you've read it, I'm sure you will enjoy it. Leave a comment on Amazon. That's priceless. And the best way to connect with me and to follow my passion is to follow me on LinkedIn, and I mean it's kind of the central point. And of course, you can follow me on YouTube and all the other Twitter and Facebook.
Excellent. And actually, I follow you. I'm looking forward to following your posts. For everyone else, please tune in next week. We've got Charlie. In fact, talking about LinkedIn, she's going to be talking about how businesses can really attract people through LinkedIn and some of those social marketing aspects. Pascal, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a while. I look forward to the book and I look forward to your posts. And for everyone else, have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.